Hey Kevin, when you hosted for Diddy, did you catch any baby oil?
I hosted Diddy. Kevin, come here. Can you go get some girls so we can be in the bedroom with some girls? Let's get some girls up here, please. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed.
You asking the wrong person the wrong question. That sound like your question.
Say pause. Don't acknowledge it. It has nothing to do with me and Puff. Nothing to do with me and Puff right now. Hold on.
Diddy's parties have definitely been a hot topic lately, with Jamie Foxx reportedly taking the stand and revealing some details, and 50 Cent publicly vowing to steer clear of the events. It's clear there are mixed feelings about Diddy's wild gatherings. Now, it's Kevin Hart's turn in the spotlight. Footage recently resurfaced from 2010 showing the comedian hosting one of Diddy's parties, and it's causing quite a stir. Let's take a look at whether the speculation about Combs and his famous friends is fair. Rumors about Diddy's wild parties have been making the rounds for years now. You could say he's the Great Gatsby of our time. For decades, his parties have been exclusive affairs, attracting only the biggest names in entertainment and influential leaders. Diddy and Kevin Hart have always had a good relationship, with Hart often spotted at Diddy's events, bringing his signature humor to keep the atmosphere lively. Recently, though, Diddy seems to be showing his affection for Hart a bit more openly. During an Instagram live session, he called the comedian beautiful, which even took Kevin by surprise. "Yeah, I get it. You look beautiful. It was a great, I throw that product in there. I'm a fan of the product. Look, if you're using the product, fellas, don't be," Hart joked, trying to brush it off. But now it looks like Diddy's tone may be changing. Footage from one of their secret parties has been leaked, and it shows the two having a blast together, though some of their antics are a bit questionable. Just listen to the joke Kevin makes while Diddy encourages everyone to hit the dance floor. It seems that Diddy has his own unique set of rules when it comes to his parties, and he isn't afraid to enforce them. In a recent video from one of his events, he's seen addressing the crowd saying, "If your name ain't Sean Coles, you gotta take your hat off. If your name ain't Sean Combs and you're male, you gotta take your hat off. It's a little disrespectful to be in my house with your hat on." Diddy doesn't hold back when making his point, adding a playful jab. "Okay, all y'all's in here with these hot-ass suits on. Hey, yo, and for real, for real." It's clear he expects a certain level of respect and presentation in his space. In a surprising twist, Diddy's own son made an appearance at the party. "Hold on. Where my son at? The light-skinned dude? Good. Ha! That's just one of them," he called out, playfully acknowledging his child in the midst of the festivities. He went on to shout out his sons, quipping, "Shout out to Diddy's sons who look nothing like him. It's still in question. We don't really know what's going on." The banter kept the crowd engaged, but Diddy quickly turned serious, telling someone off camera, "Oh, come on, man, come on, dude. Don't nobody want to see that." The 20-minute footage is packed with wild moments, but one that particularly caught fans' attention was when Kevin Hart took the party to the bathroom. In a surprising scene, he's surrounded by several women in a bathtub, and it appears he's putting on quite a show for the cameras.
Oh, did the camera catch that? Got the camera! Got the camera!
What's going on? It's official. We're here. Dirty Money album release party, last train to Paris. It's crazy, Kevin announced with enthusiasm. I decided to switch scenes. Got too hectic down there. I'm up here in the hot tub, doing it official. You know what I'm saying? My tray's up here. My fab's up here. When you have a scene like this, you gotta bring bosses with you. As you see, it's female-friendly. We got a lady in the female, she's butt naked, that's what I call it. Kevin laughed, adding, I'm not jumping in the tub myself, Once everybody gets out, it's just me and lady. In another amusing moment, Kevin ventured into Diddy's bedroom, where Diddy jokingly pleaded with him not to get too close, making a no-homo joke that left viewers chuckling. Judging by Diddy's body language, many fans believe he was just playing it up for the camera. Diddy seemed a bit uneasy during a recent video segment, especially when it came to discussing his gay escapades. With a nervous laugh, he urged Kevin Hart, We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed or nothing. No homo. Just don't get close to the bed. Don't get too, but he was clearly trying to keep the mood light while also setting boundaries, saying, "It's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man." Rumors surrounding Diddy's sexuality have been circulating since the 90s, and it's not hard to see why he might have chosen to keep aspects of his personal life private back in those days when the entertainment industry was far less accepting. Yet, the controversy doesn't merely stem from Diddy's sexual orientation. It's the alarming allegations of gay rituals involving underage boys that have sparked serious concern. For years, whispers in the industry have suggested that Diddy has lured young boys to his parties, coercing them into performing wrong favors, not just for himself, but also for his circle of high-profile friends. Industry insiders allege that these gatherings often serve as a twisted initiation rite, where young actors prove their loyalty to Diddy and his elite entourage in exchange for opportunities in Hollywood. One notable figure, actor Jamie Foxx, was reportedly desperate to gain entry to these exclusive parties. He recalled a moment when he was shadowing Diddy, hoping for an invitation to one of his lavish celebrations. "I'm following Puff Puff, and his parties were like, amazing. We're in Philly one day. I fly to Philly, town car, same business, go up, but Puff says, 'This party, Playboy, this party right here, I see him, $1.5 million. I said, "What? You spent $1.5 million on this party?" It seems that Jamie Foxx's prayers were answered when he finally gained entry into Diddy's exclusive circle. He became somewhat of a documentarian for Diddy's legendary parties, capturing the wildness that unfolded behind closed doors. Jamie was taken aback by just how extravagant these gatherings could get. He noted that Diddy would easily spend millions on celebrations filled with a who's who of the entertainment industry, including heavyweights like Jay-Z, the Neptunes, and Missy Elliott. In one memorable moment, Jamie recalled a party where he asked someone named Miss Ruth to come over and meet Diddy, whom he humorously referred to as Sean Pett. "I need you to come meet him. I need this for my camera," he said. He vividly described a scene at the Beverly Hills Hotel pool, where Diddy and Dr. Dre were having a blast, dancing and enjoying the music. "You know what they were dancing to? In the corner you could see Heavy D and Andre Harrell listening to a demo," Jamie shared. However, not everyone shares Jamie Foxx's enthusiasm for Diddy's parties. 50 Cent in particular has been vocal about his disdain for the rapper, maintaining a long-standing feud since the 90s. Over the years, he's made several jabs at Diddy, labeling him as fruity and throwing insults whenever he can. In one interview, when asked how his comments about Diddy might affect his relationships in Hollywood, 50 Cent shrugged off the question. "I don't call him gay," he insisted. "I said, 'Let me read it. Let me read it.' Oh my God, sorry. I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are now under the leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow dinner. Thieves in theaters January." Recently, 50 Cent stirred the pot during a concert for his final lap tour by taking some pointed shots at Diddy and his infamous parties. In an unexpected rant, he laid bare his discomfort with Diddy's celebrations, stating bluntly that they just aren't his scene. "He'll hug you from the front and the back at the same time. What are you talking about? Look, if that's your vibe, go for it. I respect it, but for me, it's just uncomfortable," he said. "I think I belong in the girls' back row when things like that are going on." This wasn't the first time 50 Cent has made his feelings known about Diddy's wild gatherings. Earlier in 2023, a photo from Michael Rubin's all-white party went viral, showing Diddy and Rubin embracing Lil Baby in a way that raised eyebrows. With his usual flair for mischief, 50 shared the photo on Instagram, captioning it, "See, this is why I don't go to no party Puffy and them at. What is going on here? Get off my man." However, it's not just 50 Cent who seems to have reservations about Diddy's parties. Despite being one of Diddy's most successful protégés, Usher also appears to have his own mixed feelings. Over the years, Diddy has mentored several young artists, guiding them to success in the music industry. But it seems that not everyone has embraced the chaotic energy of his parties. Usher, who learned the ropes from one of the best in the business. In a revealing interview with Revolt Black News Weekly in 2022, Usher opened up about the profound influence Diddy had on his career, reflecting on his early experiences in the music industry. He recalled, "Being in New York City with Diddy and being around the artists at that time, whether it was Jodeci, Al B. Sure, or even the hitmakers like Faith Evans, it was a culture. I felt like they were ushering me in." Usher praised Diddy's work ethic, noting, "I learned that you got to grind to get in this industry. I watched that man grind, so every bit of recognition he's been receiving in celebration of his career is well-deserved. He is an inspiration to me." Usher's connection with Diddy goes back even further. During a 2016 interview with Howard Stern, Usher shared how L.A. Reid had arranged for him to live with Diddy when he was just 14 years old. "I moved to New York City and lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year," he said, recalling the experience fondly. "That was L.A. Reid's idea. We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp. You're going to learn there." Flavor Camp, that's what it was called. However, what Usher anticipated as a standard mentoring experience quickly turned into something much more complex. He recounted being thrust into Diddy's infamous Flavor Camp, where he witnessed some things that left him bewildered. "Now, I can't say much about what went on there, but I did see some wild things that I was too young to comprehend," he admitted, adding with a hint of discomfort, "Nobody tried to... no one came along and said anything inappropriate, but there were definitely some curious happenings." Usher went on to mention the larger-than-life personalities he encountered during his stay, noting Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack, these iconic figures were all hanging around. It was a surreal experience. Faith Evans and Mary J. Blige were part of that world, too. They didn't know anything about the other things happening, though. During his candid interview with Howard Stern, Usher found himself in a rather awkward moment when the topic shifted to the atmosphere at Diddy's house. Howard probed, asking if Diddy's residence was often filled with girls. Usher hesitated, visibly faltering before he responded. Fans picked up on his nervous laugh, a clear indication that he was treading carefully. Instead of providing a straightforward answer, he opted to reiterate that he had only witnessed some interesting things during his time there. This evasion raised eyebrows, as Usher could have easily confirmed if girls were indeed frequent guests at Diddy's parties. Instead, his response suggested a deeper, more complicated truth that he was reluctant to disclose. It almost appeared as though he was caught in an internal struggle, weighing whether to open up about the realities behind Diddy's infamous gatherings or to maintain a sense of discretion. His reticence might indicate that he, too, had experienced something troubling during his formative years. The situation took a turn for the more alarming after a drunken interview Diddy gave with Kevin Hart at one of his lavish parties. In a shocking revelation, Diddy disclosed that he and Usher used to share a bed in their younger days. This was particularly unsettling because it came to light that Usher was not the 14 years old many had believed him to be. In fact, he was just 10 years old at the time, while Diddy was 19. "The stage, that's my brother right here, day one," Diddy boasted in the interview. "We used to wake up, and I mean, damn, pause, but like, test out. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother. We used to fight over the Frosted Flakes, you know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented, you know what I'm saying? But it's my brother, for real. We actually used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up earlier than me. Now he's the richest in the world." Usher's reaction to Diddy's comments was palpable. He seemed taken aback, exclaiming, "Yo, what the expletive did Puff just say?" Nobody's going to acknowledge this for me? Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes and we're streaming live. That was stupid. During the interview with Kevin Hart, Diddy seemed to let slip more than he intended, sharing candid anecdotes that hinted at a complex past with Usher. However, as the conversation took a turn that likely made him uneasy, Diddy quickly regained his composure. He abruptly reached for Kevin, signaling to wrap things up and cut the interview short, but the revelations had already made their mark. Usher is not alone in his hesitance to frequent Diddy's gatherings. Another notable figure who has distanced himself from Diddy's nightlife is Denzel Washington. The celebrated actor made headlines in 2009 when Diddy marked his 40th birthday in extravagant style, throwing a lavish celebration that reportedly cost a staggering $3 million. The party took place at the iconic Plaza Hotel in New York and was a black and white themed affair that attracted a star-studded guest list, including Jay-Z, Bono, Young Jeezy, Nelly, Estelle, Rick Ross, Cassie, Martha Stewart, and, of course, Denzel Washington. While many celebrities took to Twitter in the aftermath to rave about the festivities, Denzel's experience appeared to be quite different. As guests reveled in the evening's excitement, he was spotted leaving the party looking visibly displeased. Eyewitnesses noted that he seemed shaken up, a stark contrast to his usual demeanor, where he often engages with fans and exudes warmth. On this occasion, however, he seemed to retreat into himself, suggesting that he may have witnessed something unsettling that dampened his spirits. Washington's discomfort left fans speculating about what transpired behind the scenes at Diddy's party. Despite the speculation surrounding Denzel, Washington's abrupt departure from Diddy's extravagant birthday celebration, some fans argue that the scrutiny is unwarranted. They contend that Denzel was simply making his way to his car after a long evening, and his demeanor may have been misinterpreted. However, what stands out is the fact that he has never been spotted at one of Diddy's parties since that night, raising eyebrows and fueling further speculation about his experience. In interviews, Denzel has remained tight-lipped about what transpired during that memorable night, offering no insight into the events that left him visibly unsettled. "Is there anything you want to talk about? Something people should know?" he mused during one conversation, hinting at the existence of untold stories, but ultimately refraining from discussing his encounter with Diddy's world. Fortunately, there are others who have been more forthcoming about the unconventional and often scandalous atmosphere at Diddy's gatherings. One such individual is Josh Ostrovsky, known online as the Fat Jewish, a prominent American entrepreneur and social media personality. He recounts his own experience at one of Diddy's notorious parties held at the rapper's Miami mansion. In a candid interview, Josh Ostrovsky recounted his unforgettable experience at one of P. Diddy's infamous parties held at his luxurious private residence on Star Island in Miami. He described the scene as an overwhelming spectacle, with hundreds of attendees mingling in a lavish environment filled with beautiful women, many of whom he playfully categorized as ethnic models. Despite the allure, he humorously noted that this crowd wasn't his typical scene, quipping, "I'm going to stick to Peppa and ghouls from US Weekly." Ostrovsky found himself there almost by chance, accompanying a renowned house producer who was DJing the event. Caught up in the party atmosphere, he succumbed to the collective energy and indulged in ecstasy, stating, "I took a whole bunch of ecstasy because everyone there was taking it." He painted a vivid picture of his state of mind as he navigated through a throng of high-profile guests, many of whom were influential executives he didn't recognize. "It was a high-end crowd, very high-end, and there were maybe 100 people," he recalled. However, the evening took an unexpected turn when Ostrovsky embarked on a quest to find a bathroom. The sprawling mansion, designed like a labyrinth, became a source of confusion. "So, long story short, I am on ecstasy, and I'm trying to find the bathroom, and I can't find the bathroom," he explained. Descending a flight of stairs, he ventured into the inner recesses of the mansion, navigating a maze of rooms and corridors, each leading to more bewilderment. I start opening doors. One's like a closet, another's a room that doesn't have a bathroom in it. Every room should have a bathroom in it. That makes sense in this dungeon, he lamented. As Fat Jew continued his labyrinthine journey through Diddy's opulent mansion, he finally stumbled upon a peculiar scene that would remain etched in his memory. I opened a door, and in that room, there were a bunch of men, all kind of lounging around in a way that was strangely reminiscent of Roman banquets, he recounted. The atmosphere was oddly intimate. The men were leaning against one another, not quite spooning, but engaged in what he humorously dubbed conversational spooning. Ostrovsky attempted to illustrate the scene further, saying it felt like those moments when you're gathered with friends, perhaps watching TV in a relaxed setting. Imagine you're with your girlfriends, and you're all sprawled out on a couch, but instead of being platonic, it had this heavy, almost regal undertone, like the kind of illustrations you might see depicting old Greek gatherings, he elaborated. His gaze was drawn to a striking sight. Diddy and Felix the house cat, the renowned house music producer, nestled closely together on a lavish sofa. I opened the door, and clearly I wasn't supposed to be in there. And who do I see lounging right in my line of sight? Puff Daddy and Felix the house cat, basically spooning each other, he recalled, almost incredulous. They were sharing a glass of Hennessy, passing it back and forth like old friends lost in deep conversation. However, the stark reality hit him when he realized the room was exclusively occupied by men. All men, though. There's not one woman in this room, just a bunch of dudes, completely immersed in their own world, he noted. He couldn't help but observe the effects of the environment on the attendees. You could tell they were all 100% on ecstasy. Just as he began to process this surreal tableau, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The moment he made eye contact with Diddy, a massive bouncer strode over, asserting his presence with authority. "Get the Yatsao out!" the bouncer barked, clearly perturbed by the attention Fat Jew had drawn. The scene Fat Jew stumbled into was a stark contrast to his expectations. As he opened the door, he was met by the sight of a hefty man with an afro, shirtless, and wearing nothing but an open windbreaker. The absurdity of this image only deepened the surreal experience of the moment. Recognizing that he had inadvertently walked into a private gathering where boundaries seemed to blur, Fat Jew quickly made eye contact with Diddy, prompting an immediate instinct to retreat. Yet his unexpected encounter with Diddy left a lasting impression on the rapper. Sometime later, at a press event for a film, their paths crossed again. Diddy was in the midst of an interview when their eyes met across the room. Out of nowhere, he halted the conversation, pointing directly at Fat Jew amidst a throng of publicists and attendees. "Yo, you, my man!" he called out, his voice cutting through the noise, drawing the attention of everyone present. Caught off guard, Fat Jew blurted out the first thing that came to his mind. "Miami?" The atmosphere shifted instantly, and an awkward silence fell over Diddy as if he was struck by a wave of recognition. It was a moment of shared understanding, a silent acknowledgement of the bizarre circumstances that had previously unfolded. Reflecting on that moment, Fat Jew recalled, "During the junket for a movie he was promoting, I was there, standing in the back, hidden behind a sea of publicists and cameras. But as soon as he locked eyes with me, it was like time stopped." The interviewer, noticing the interaction, looked between the two men, clearly intrigued. "You see him?" they asked. Fat Jew continued, "Everyone I've ever told this story to has called me a liar. They were like, 'There's no way you saw Diddy sharing a glass of Hennessy or whatever prelude to an orgy you're talking about.' Most thought I was just spinning a wild tale, but a few, I suspect, were just being polite." He remembered Diddy's demeanor during the press event. He stopped the interview, pointed at me, and asked, "Where do I know you from?" Everyone in the room turned to look at me. It felt surreal, almost like being on stage. Fat Jew emphasized the weight of that moment, how their shared glance carried an unspoken narrative. And then, when I said Miami, he responded with a knowing, "Oh, true," and we locked eyes again. It was like this whole silent agreement passed between us. He knew that I knew, and I knew that he knew that I knew what I had seen. It was like a secret code, a shared experience that hinted at something much deeper. In the aftermath of that unforgettable night, Fat Jew found himself grappling with a sense of unease. The images of what he had witnessed at Diddy's party haunted him, leaving him fearful that the rapper might send someone to his home to ensure his silence. "Honestly, I was scared," he admitted, the gravity of the situation settling in. "I kept thinking, what if they come after me? What if I'm suddenly in the middle of a Breaking Bad scenario where I have to watch my back every second?" To mitigate these fears, Fat Jew took a proactive approach, documenting his experiences online. "I figured that if anything did happen, at least the internet would know who to point fingers at," he explained. By sharing his account on social media and podcasts, he felt he had created a safety net, ensuring that the bizarre events wouldn't remain in the shadows. "What I'm doing now is talking about it publicly," he said. "This way, I'm safer. The more I share, the more eyes there are on my story. It's like a shield." However, not all who attend Diddy's parties leave with their sanity intact. Take YK Osiris, for instance. The Florida rapper who burst onto the scene in 2017 had initially garnered significant attention and was soon signed by Def Jam Recordings. However, as he reflected on his journey, he expressed a disillusionment with the industry that many would find striking. "You think rapping and singing is a blessing? Stop saying it's a blessing from God," he once proclaimed, his voice filled with conviction. "It's not a blessing, it's a blessing from the devil." Despite his promising start, YK Osiris's time with Def Jam was short-lived. He only managed to release one album, The Golden Child, before the label decided to part ways with him. Following that setback, his career took a nosedive. That's when Diddy swooped in as a key player in the industry, likely promising to guide YK and show him the ropes. But fans were taken aback when they spotted YK vacationing in Jamaica with Diddy. It's important to remember that during this time, YK was facing some serious financial struggles. He had spent all his money and was basically broke, which meant Diddy was likely footing the bill for the trip. Things took a strange turn when YK posted a photo of a shirtless Diddy on his Instagram, accompanied by praying emojis. It made people wonder why he felt the need to share that particular picture of Diddy. When YK was asked about the Jamaica trip during an interview with The Breakfast Club, he surprisingly struggled to find the right words. Instead of addressing the questions directly, he laughed it off and made a claim that he wasn't in Jamaica with Diddy, but was actually with someone else. "I was with a shouty," he insisted. But when the hosts pointed out that Diddy was also there, YK backtracked, saying, "No, he was in a whole different area." When pressed further, he simply said, "Yeah, they made it up," referring to the rumors. Unfortunately for YK, fans weren't buying his story. After the trip, whispers started circulating that YK was Diddy's boy toy, and the rumors seemed to spread like wildfire. When he was confronted about these claims, YK seemed flustered. "I don't know about the—" "What rumors?" he stammered. "What did they say?" However, he quickly cut himself off, deciding not to elaborate. "I'm not going to say that. I heard about that, though, but I wasn't about to say that." YK's mental breakdown on Instagram not long after only added fuel to the fire of those rumors. In a shocking video, he opened up about feeling hopeless and even mentioned thoughts of ending his life. He expressed that he felt completely alone in the industry, which surprised fans since he had previously seemed close to Diddy. Everybody, this is not right, my nah. So what the am I living for? Why the Am I on this earth? He vented, clearly at his breaking point. Why? Why even like this? This is crazy. He also criticized fans who glorified artists in the industry, asserting that many of them were deceivers leading people astray. Man, they give y'all all these stupid-ass talks about blessings and what God wants you to do. No, this is not what God wants. The devil gives you all this money and these distractions to destroy yourself. You end up losing yourself. This is not God's blessing, my It seems that YK may have ventured too close to Diddy's world and paid a heavy price, with his mental health suffering as a result. Given YK's struggles and his past relationship with Diddy, it raises questions about the validity of rumors suggesting that Diddy may exploit young artists for his own gratification at his parties. Whether it's Kevin Hart spilling the tea or Jamie Foxx lifting the veil on Diddy's extravagant parties, the wild gatherings hosted by Diddy sound like they belong in an R-rated movie. These exclusive events are reserved for a select few, and while fans might have ignored rumors of nights filled with wild celebrations and heavy drinking, the reality is much darker. These parties have become a backdrop for Diddy and his inner circle to take advantage of young artists. As the situation unfolds, Kevin Hart might want to tread carefully, especially if the scrutiny intensifies. For now, it seems wise for him to keep his head down and avoid any potential backlash. Is the intense media focus on public figures like him justified, or does it cross a line into unfair speculation? While it's true that simply being present doesn't imply wrongdoing, the nature of fame means they often find themselves entangled in controversies they'd rather avoid. So, are we being too harsh in our judgment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights and updates on the latest happenings in the entertainment world.